behind the scenes with future country rock blues kings and queens. Discover them first with Palm Bash TV. Palm Bash TV.
Well, hello there. It's Paul Mash TV time again. Thank you so much for joining us. We got another great interview coming up in just a second. But before we begin, don't forget about the subscribe and bell buttons if you haven't clicked those already. And you'll always be notified of any new episodes coming your way. And leave a comment on the comment section. We'd love to hear from you there. And if you look at the description part as well as the closing credits, we'll have contact info ready for you there. So stay tuned for that. From Nashville, Tennessee today, we have Pepper Brooks. He's a very awesome country artist. I think you're going to agree. And we're going to get to that in a second, but first, here's a quick word from the Caden Gordon Show, so don't go away. We'll be right back right after this.
It is Caden from the Caden Gordon Show. Today's best country mix. Check out my show at thecadengordonshow.com.
Okay, we're back, and with us from Nashville, Tennessee today, we have Pepper Brooks. Thanks for joining us, Pepper.
Most welcome. Most welcome. Good to be here.
Yeah, no problem. Well, what's your story as far as music goes? I mean, I guess you always wanted to be a musician since you were little. Maybe you fell into it much later. Tell us the details on that.
Yeah, I don't guess I could say I don't know that I wanted to be a musician. It just kind of evolved into what it is today, I guess. I say that I've only really been professional for about the past 3.5 years. I call professional where music is my way of providing for myself and my family. My full job since April of 2021. I did it part-time for about 3 years. Before that, gigging and playing around while still working a full-time job. And prior to that, I mean, I've had music. I've always had a guitar in the house since I was about 20 years old. And, played a little bit in church, dabbled in writing for a little bit, just done a little bit with it, but never really got serious with it probably till about 6 years ago. Decided, it's something I was relatively good at, and had some encouragement for some people, wanted to see me do better with it. And, got to practicing more, started doing some gigs, bought some better equipment, and started really finding out, who I was as a musician. And once moving here and slightly before moving here, really got serious about writing songs. To date, I think I've got somewhere around 85, 90 songs registered on BMI. So I just keep pumping them out now. So that's the fun part, writing songs.
Yeah, I understand that. Well, it sounds like a great story there. I'm glad you're doing what you're doing. I hope you have many years ahead of you. And
Me too.
So I'm sure all the legends in country music, you've looked up to since you were a kid. Maybe you can mention some of those.
Yeah, I've kind of I don't know if I would say I idolize anybody. There's certain things of certain artists that I really like. For example, I like the way that Garth Brooks has a stage presence. He puts on a show. It's almost like going to the circus. Reminds me a lot about how Elvis was back in the day. Elvis always sold out because he put on a show. He might not have been the best singer at the time, but he put on a show, so everybody wanted to see what he was doing. I kind of bring that same flair element to my shows. Like, the best compliment I can ever get from someone is when they hear me sing for the first time and they say, "You don't sound like you look," and I'm like, "That's what I was hoping for." It's shockingly surprising. Is what they tell me. And I'm like, "Okay, that's good." Not shockingly bad. I don't get that anymore. Maybe back in the day I did, but it's just taking elements. The writing aspect of it. I've kind of idolized Phil Vassar, his writing ability. He's written a bunch of songs for a bunch of people. Had multiple number ones that weren't his own songs that he's either sold or recorded for someone else. Just the fact that he was able to maintain a career as a songwriter for so long. There's so many people I've learned since being here. That have wrote for so many people that no one knows who they are. They're great songwriters, but they've written multiple number one hits for multiple artists, and you don't really know that side of the business till you get in it. Most fans don't realize who writes all the music. Once you get up in this aspect of this part, you start realizing that, a lot of what goes on behind the scenes is even way more important than what you see in the spotlight.
Right.
I do want to be a performer. My goal is to be signed with a label. Hopefully within the next year, and out touring. at least for a little while. Probably can't do it forever, but I do want to experience that for a while. But my main focus is songwriting. I do write with a lot of people. I bring people in. I've considered myself very educated in the songwriting aspect, and I've taught some of my skills to other people. And I like to be able to collaborate with people and help the younger generation that's starting to do this get a more foothold in where to, because there's a science to it. Writing songs, it ain't just scribbling a bunch of stuff down on paper and making words rhyme. I mean, it's the ability to tell a story with music is an art, and it's an art that, just like any other art, the more you do it, the more you practice it, the better and sharper you get.
Okay, yeah, that's good. A couple of those you mentioned, I like their writing and singing abilities as well. And matter of fact, when I first heard the song we're about to play in a couple minutes here, I felt that you sounded a lot like the Clint Black or the John Michael Montgomery, that kind of thing.
Appreciate it. Yeah, that's really like if you put my country music. I mean, I do mostly country. When I do a show somewhere, I'll mix some stuff in. I do some covers of Michael Jackson and Michael Bublé and Frank Sinatra. I do mix it up a little bit for the crowds, but probably I'm going to say probably 65-70% of what I do, even when I'm out of the show, is country or country based. And it's a compliment to me when people tell me that they like the fact that I write, produce, and record what they call real country music.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a real fan of what I've coined hick hop. I don't like hick hop. It's country rap. It's just to me, it's not country music. I know some folks think it is, but all the click tracks and the bass line beats that you hear in country music nowadays, it's not what I grew up on. It's not what most people grew up on. It's not. I think it's country hip hop, and I wish they would just categorize it as that and just leave country music where it's at. So. But yes, that's definitely a country song for sure.
All right. Well, tell everybody how we can find your music. I mean, I'm sure it's on all streaming platforms, but if you're on social media, let us know that. Even if you have an official.
I am. Yeah, you can pretty much just look me up. You just Google Pepper Brooks Music on Google. We'll pull up everything. I do have a link tree. I'm not sure if I provided that to you yet or not. That runs everything. I have a website that's officially up right now. It's still technically under construction. Probably won't be officially fully ready with everything on it as far as all the links go, and probably to the end of this week, maybe first of next week. But it's pepperbrooks.net, and it's like I said, it's a very professional website, very nice. I'm looking forward to being able to use that going forward because it's just easier to do, pepperbrooks.net versus a whole long music thing and official and all that stuff. Just having my name associated with a domain is really nice. But yeah, all streaming platforms, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Pandora, it's all there. Just Pepper Brooks. It's pretty easy to find. This face is kind of easy to recognize too. So,
and of course,
I'm usually got a cowboy hat on most of my pictures too. So if you see this face with a cowboy hat, it's I do the George Strait thing. My wife says, where I wear the cowboy hat on stage and it's a ball caps and flannels when I'm not. So. Once that day comes, I'm super famous. Maybe I'll still be able to go shopping by myself. Who knows?
Okay, and I'm sure that includes social media too, like Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now on my Instagram, it's a little bit different. My Instagram is Pepper Brooks Official, and Facebook's just Pepper Brooks. Just there's a few other people out there in the world that have my same name, but I don't think there's anybody else doing music. So I'm kind of in my own spot right now. So it's kind of nice.
Okay, well, check him out on all those streaming platforms, social media platforms, and that official site, he said. And I know he will love you for that. And I'm sure eventually he'll probably have some touring dates you can check out as well.
Absolutely.
And we're going to be playing this song here, Old-Fashioned Therapy. Like I was telling you earlier, it does have that kind of a sound to it. I really love this song. Is there a story that goes with this song? Maybe you could let us know.
Absolutely, yeah. Me and a friend of mine for a long time. I mean, my favorite drink to get out where I'm at, no matter where it is, I always order old fashioned. I like bourbon. The best way to get it, my opinion is with simple sugar, some bitters, and some muddled cherries. And me and one of my good friends had been liking old fashions for a long time. He was like, "Man, as much as you like old fashions, it's like, why don't you write a song about it yet?" And I was like, "Oh, I should do that." So I did, but I didn't want it to be just another drinking song, which all country music is just the drinking songs. Mm-hmm. And so it's like all those drinking songs that are out there. I didn't want it to be just another drinking song for somebody to listen to. So I had the idea of combining a double play on words. So like old fashioned, the drink, but also things that are old fashioned, like things that I grew up on that you don't really see a whole lot anymore. Like, driving movie theaters is mentioned in there, watching Andy Griffith, on TV and stuff like that. Back 8-track radios in a car, like it's, families driving to church on Sundays, things of that nature that, you don't really hear a whole lot about now. So the things that I now consider old fashioned, and I'm only 48 years old, but it's just amazing how much, stuff has changed just in the last 15 years. So I wanted to incorporate that, but then there's also the elements of the drink itself. There's mentions of like how it's made with muddled cherries and, simple syrup and good bourbon and stuff like that. So it was not just a drinking song. It was more of a song about things that are old fashioned. But in the process of this song coming about, calling it old fashioned therapy kind of has a double meaning where, like, and sometimes, depending on how bad a day is, the old fashioned therapy I need is literally a stiff drink, because I've had a rough day. But at the same time, sometimes the old fashioned therapy that I need is like therapy of things that were actually old fashioned. Like, it's okay to get out and just drive in the country and just do things that people thought, were simpler back then. So it's a really good thing. That's why I think the World Songwriter Association picked it to be the best traditional country song of 2024. So just got that award recently for that song. So pretty cool. I'm up for a few more for it, and we'll see how that goes. But just a great song. I love the song. Wrote it in about 10 minutes, then it finalized it over a couple weeks, and I love every element about it. The way it's played, the instrumentals, the tempo of it, the feel of the song. It's upbeat. You can dance to it. Actually, in my music video, one of our ladies that was in the video, she actually wrote the line dance for it herself. So in the video, they're doing the line dance for the song. So maybe one day that'll catch on too. Who knows?
Okay, well, it's as I said a minute ago, it is a great song, and I know you out there, you're going to love it too. And we'll get to that in a second. But Pepper, thank you so much for being on the show today. Come back anytime you want to plug something new. Maybe we'll have you back on sometime.
Thank you. I'll be back for sure.
Okay, and here it is, Old Fashioned Therapy by Pepper Brooks, and it begins right now.
To that radio and a track on the dash, driving to church on Sunday, listening to Johnny Cash. It happened to them honky tonks under the neon moon, working hard for an honest wage, good friends that'll see you through. I need an old-fashioned therapy, cherries, a simple syrup, bourbon on the rocks. Need something strong that works all night long, takes me back to you and me. I need an old-fashioned therapy. Griffith, watching reruns on TV. We'd all go to drive-ins, skinny dipping down at the creek. Whatever happened to when you loved me, swore you would never leave. But them good old days are all but gone, and nothing's like it seems. I need an old-fashioned therapy, cherries, a simple syrup, bourbon on the rocks. Need something strong that works all night long, takes me back to you and me. I need an old-fashioned therapy. Oh, that bottom shelf won't cut it. I need something from the top. Oh, Rip Van Winkle will have me feeling like this old earthly style. So give me something strong that works all night long. It makes me wanna believe. I need an old-fashioned therapy. I need an old-fashioned therapy. Some little cherries, simple syrup, bourbon on the rye. Need something strong that works all night long, takes me